Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, my name is Amanda. Thank you so much for tuning in. All of the products that will be used in today's video will be conveniently linked for you in the description box below. No need to go searching for these items, just click on the link and make your purchase. Now let's get started. For this cute little Halloween tumbler, we are going to be working with a 20-ounce skinny from MAKERFLO Crafts. And I'm just going to take the little sticker off of the bottom here. And we're also going to be working with this cute little cowboy ghost opaque vinyl from Craft Haven. And I will link both of these products as well as all the products I use in the video today in the description box for you. Now, you can either sand this tumbler now or after you apply the vinyl. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this little handy dandy tool that I got from the Amy's Make Everything, and I'm just going to draw a straight line on my tumbler so that I can be sure that my template lines up perfectly straight on my tumbler. As I have mentioned before, when you are wrapping your tumbler with vinyl or water slide, anything like that, if you get it straight from the jump, then 9 times out of 10, it's going to go on perfectly. So I'm just going to make a line and apply this template. And I just made this template to fit a 20-ounce skinny as is without any epoxy on the tumbler whatsoever. It is a very tight but perfect fit. So I will have this template on my website if you want to purchase this template. Now, once you have your vinyl applied, just go ahead and use some sort of trimmer to trim up the vinyl. I'm just going to leave a little bit of stainless steel exposed on the bottom because that is going to be glittered. And then we're just going to trim the top of the vinyl around the rim of the tumbler as well. And then I'm just using electrical tape to tape the vinyl off so that I can sand the areas that will be glittered. And then, of course, once you do your sanding, be sure to wipe away any debris that might be left on the tumbler. If you sanded your tumbler prior to applying your vinyl, you will still need to tape off the vinyl because, again, we are going to be painting and glittering the remaining part of the tumbler that does not have the vinyl applied. So whether you sand prior to the vinyl or after, go ahead and do this step of taping it off unless you feel comfortable enough to paint the tumbler without getting any paint on the vinyl. I am not that neat. And we're going to be painting the tumbler in this old army green from Pop of Color Paints, which I purchased from the Glitter Grind. Now, I've said this in several of my videos, but the Glitter Grind is having a closing sale. So I will have them linked for you. I'm not sure how much they have left or what all they have left, but they have some really good prices going on right now. And I have purchased quite a bit of paints and glitters from them in the last few months so that I can stock up, and I don't think I'm going to have to buy glitter for a long, long time. So be sure to check them out. I am not affiliated with them in any way as far as doing any sort of, discount codes for you or anything like that. But I just really love their glitters, and they have some really unique and different types of glitters. So just wanted to mention that. As of the recording of this video, they do still have an active website, but as I mentioned, I'm not sure when they will be closing. So be sure to check them out if you're interested. Once you apply your paint, you can glitter your tumbler in whichever method you would like. You can use Mod Podge, glitter glue, Aleene's Tack It. You can use the epoxy method. There's so many different ways that you can glitter your tumblers. For this particular tumbler, I am using the epoxy method because I was working on some other tumblers and I had some epoxy left. So I decided to just use that epoxy to glitter this tumbler with. Now, I said earlier that I sanded the tumbler after I applied my vinyl before going in with my paint. However, I actually did forget to do the sanding because as I'm watching this paint, I remembered it was not going on as good as it normally does because I did fail to sand the tumbler. So that is why it looks really streaky, and it's, you're able to still see the tumbler through the paint. So that is why it's really important to sand your tumblers prior to painting. You want to remove that shininess and that coating on the outside so that the paint has something to stick to. So what I did in order to sort of combat that issue is I used my heat gun to dry the paint quickly and then just applied layers of paint. I think I wound up applying 3 total coats of paint on this tumbler just so that you couldn't see the stainless steel through the glitter. And then also, I don't know what it was with all of my Halloween tumblers, there were so many issues. By the time I got to this tumbler, the epoxy was beginning to get tacky and was in the beginning stages of the curing process and did not want to smooth onto the tumbler very well at all. So I don't know. It was, like I said, with all of my Halloween tumblers, it was an ordeal. I had to redo one Halloween tumbler twice, and I still did not have time to get that video put out before Halloween this year. So I don't know when that video will come out, but it was a struggle. I don't know. It just, sometimes these things happen, Now, what you can do if you find yourself in a similar situation where you're working on multiple tumblers and your epoxy begins to set up before you're ready for it to, you can go ahead and heat your tumbler just a little bit with your heat gun, and that will help the epoxy to go onto the tumbler a little bit easier. And you'll see I do that here in a moment to my tumbler, to one area, and it just helps the epoxy smooth on a little bit better. Once you have your glitter applied to your tumbler, do not forget to glitter the bottom. I do not have footage of this process, but I just taped off my vinyl and applied the glitter. I think I used glitter glue for the bottom rather than epoxy. But again, you can apply your glitter however is best for you. And then once that has cured, you will want to seal your glitter with either Rust-Oleum 2 times clear polyacrylic, glitter glue, and water mixture. However you feel comfortable sealing your glitters, go ahead and do that before applying your first full coat of epoxy. Now for me, what I did is I just epoxied the glittered section on my tumbler first and let that cure. And then I went back in and epoxied the vinyl section on my tumbler and let that cure. Once that was cured, I did go in on the whole tumbler with 20 milliliters of epoxy and let that cure. And then after that's cured, as long as you do not have any glitter exposed, you can go ahead and sand the rim of your tumbler. I'm showing you here, I have a thin line of stainless steel at the top. I do still have to clean the inside of my tumbler, and this is usually where I will do both. So I'll go ahead and sand the rim of my tumbler, and of course the bottom as well, and the entire tumbler anywhere that it needs sanding. And then I'll go ahead and remove any epoxy from the rim as well as the inside of the tumbler should any leak over into the inside. Generally, I don't have a lot of overspill to the inside of the tumbler with my epoxy, but occasionally I will have glitter that tends to sort of just want to stick in there, and I will clean that out. And then once everything has been washed and dried, we can go ahead and go in with our vinyl striping and vinyl wording. So at this point, if you're going to be adding any kind of clear cast decal, you will want to make sure you cannot see your sanding marks. But if you are going to be using vinyl as I am, it is okay to go ahead and place the vinyl on top of the sanding marks. So we're just going to add some vinyl striping and then add our wording. Now, because I was trying to get this video completed before the end of Halloween, it was still a little tacky as I was applying the vinyl wording. You can see some of my fingerprints. So if that happens to a tumbler you're working on, what you want to do is just go ahead and let that cure, and then you can just lightly sand the fingerprint areas and add another coat of epoxy, and you won't be able to see them. So that's what I'm going to do. So other than adding a final coat of epoxy, this cute little Halloween tumbler is complete. And I just thought it was super cute. I hope everyone enjoyed it. I do still have one more Halloween tumbler. I'm obviously not going to have that out before the end of today. But if you still would like to see that, comment below in the comment box, and you can just simply say one more Halloween tumbler. And if I get enough requests, I'll go ahead and post that video later this week. But otherwise, it may have to wait until next year. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it has inspired you. I thought this was super cute and sort of not my normal tumblers, as far as I don't do a lot of glitter and vinyl work of this, like on this level, as far as like most of my vinyl work is just in small pieces of vinyl or vinyl wording. But doing a wrap around the tumbler and doing glitter with the vinyl striping, that's not a normal design that I do. So I had a lot of fun making it. And again, I hope everyone enjoyed it. I hope everyone has a safe and happy Halloween. And as always, have a blessed day.